Prashasta Seth of India Infoline joins on with his perspective on the markets as well. We'll go across to him in just a bit. Of course, we'll also have Arun Kaul later on joining us from UCO Bank to talk about the fund infusion that's been announced by the government in the bank. But first, Prashasta, come to you. What's your broad call on the market post the budget? Are you bullish or a bit circumspect?
See, my view is that budgets per se was possibly not as bad as what the markets made out to be, on the day of the budget. I think, finance minister has done whatever he was supposed to do, and if the market participants had had more expectations, then I think there was some problem with the expectations other than what actually got delivered in the budget. So my sense is with the event now out and things having moved in both directions post the budget, I think the near-term trend will be determined by what happens to the global markets post here. If the US and other markets continue to do well, I think you could see some more upside in the markets. But if they give up some of the gains that we have seen, then you could potentially see the markets moving back. So broadly, I think 55, 56 on the bottom and 66,000, 6,100 on the top. I think that's what the range looks like for the next 3 to 6 months.
The PSU banks or smaller private banks have just rallied the last couple of days. A lot of people on the budget, they said they are value buys. You concur with the same? Do you like some of these banking names?
See, our sense is that if you have a slightly longer term view, I think banking is a good sector to be in, especially smaller PSU banks, because some of them have been beaten down very, very aggressively and are available at a much lower than a price to book. And as and when the economy picks up, you would see them getting re-rated. The problem is you don't know when the economy is going to get the recovery that everybody is looking for. It might be 2 quarters, it might be 3 quarters. If one is ready to take that pain, I think it's a very, very attractive level to buy some of these banks with a medium-term view.
Would that be the call for the metal names as well? That comments from China weren't too negative. Prashasta, stocks have been beaten down quite a bit. Would you bet on any of the metal names, ferrous, non-ferrous?
My sense is from a trading perspective, a lot of these names are available at a very, very attractive level. So whether it is Tata Steel or whether it is a Hindalco, I think, or a NMDC for that matter, I think all of these names are available now at a very, very attractive valuations. And purely from a trading perspective, I think they are very, very good levels to enter. And my sense is you would get 10 to 15% bounce from these levels in most of these names.
What would be a contrarian strategy in this market, Prashasta?
So contrarian, I don't know what is contrarian, frankly, because to decipher whether the market movement and what has outperformed is very tough in the last few months. But my sense is I would still stick to good quality names. Prefer good quality names, good stable earnings. I think a lot of analysts are coming out and talking about the fact that it's the time to become more aggressive in terms of capital goods, infrastructure and those kind of names. We continue to stay away from that. We continue to play all these sectors through banks, and that continues to be our biggest portfolio weightage among the sectors. So we still continue to pretty much hold the view that we had last year, that stick with good quality names, and we believe that will possibly outperform the markets.
What would you do with the oil marketing companies, BP, HP, RC? Is there a trade or an investment that you would do?
So among the 3 names, I think we like BPCL because there is a solid Mozambique block story behind it, and there is a decent upside possible if things play out in that direction and the final reserves come out to be higher than what the market is pricing in right now. So we believe that there is a potential upside to BPCL based on that. I think with respect to oil marketing, other oil marketing companies, our view is that it's better to play oil and gas through through upstream companies like ONGC and Oil India rather than downstream companies, both in terms of subsidy sharing, which might come out to be lesser than what it has been currently, and two, potential increase in gas prices, which could have a significant impact in terms of earnings both for Oil India and ONGC. So we prefer BPCL, ONGC and Oil India in the pack, and would prefer them to HPCL and IOC.
Okay, Prashastha, before we let you go, give us one trading idea. One top trading idea for the next 1 week or 10 days.
So I think in terms of trading, I think you could potentially see some of the smaller banks doing well. So whether it's Allahabad Bank or some of the banks like Dena Bank, I think that's one space that will do well. Similarly, I think smaller private sector banks like Karur Vyasya Bank would do well. My sense is till the point the RBI meet happens, you would continue to see a strong interest in some of these banks, because there will always be a hope that rate cut will happen. Whether it happens or not, we'll know only on that day. But the market will possibly be buoyant on the hopes of a rate cut, and some of these names should do well.
All right, Prashastha, we'll let you go at that. Thanks very much for joining us and giving us a quick perspective on the markets and also your stock and sector preferences.